Welcome to the DuPage, Kane, and Kendall County 4-H Rube Goldberg Challenge video series. I'm Amy Henshin, a 4-H youth development educator with University of Illinois Extension. In this video, we're going to learn about the engineering design process. The Rube Goldberg Challenge is at its heart an engineering project. Engineering, in the simplest sense, is about solving problems. We can think like engineers by applying the engineering design process. In this process, we can identify a problem, develop possible solutions, test those solutions, and improve them. Let's take a look at the steps of the engineering design process as simplified by the Museum of Science.
Here's an illustration of the engineering design process. You'll notice that it contains 5 different steps: ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. We'll start by looking at ask. In this step of the engineering design process, we work to identify the problem. We do this by asking what the problem is and think about how other people have approached that problem in the past. In this step, we also identify the constraints. Constraints are restrictions or limitations that put a boundary around a design, such as a limited budget, resources, or time. For our Rube Goldberg Challenge, you are given constraints like making sure your machine is safe and won't cause damage to yourself or your surroundings, having a minimum number of steps, and having to include a certain number of simple machines. You may also be constrained by what materials you have on hand to build with. Once you've identified the problem, you may be ready for the next step in the engineering design process: imagine. This is the step where we get to use our creativity to brainstorm possible ideas or solutions to our problem. We might use lists, sketches, doodles, or other methods to do our brainstorming. Once we brainstorm a lot of ideas, we choose the best one or ones to try. Once we have an idea to try, we're ready to move on to the next step in the engineering design process: plan. In this step, we'll expand on our idea. We might draw some diagrams of our design, make lists of materials we will need, and gather our supplies. Once we have a design and materials, we're ready to create. In this step, we'll follow our plan and create something. This is where we build our machine and test it out. Once we have our machine built and start testing it, we're ready for the last step in the engineering design process: improve. In this step, we use our tests to figure out what worked, what didn't, and what could work better. Once we've answered these questions, we can use this info to modify or change our designs to make them better. Once we do that, we can do more testing and improvement until we feel our design solves the problem we identified in the ask step. It's important to note that the engineering design process is a cycle. There's no official start or end point. You can really begin at any step, focus on just one step, move back and forth between steps, or repeat the cycle. For example, after you improve your design once, you may want to begin all over again to refine your technology. Learn more about this process and how real people put it into action by visiting the links in the video description. We encourage you to use the engineering design process as your guide for planning, testing, and troubleshooting your Rube Goldberg machine.